Whether it's the regular season or the off-season, we have you covered as we give you the best Tennessee Titans and NFL news and insight that a fan could ask for. You're watching the Titan Upload Network. The Power Hour's on the air, live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and as always, thank you for joining us on a fine Monday evening. NFL Week 1 is in the books, and unfortunately, if you're a Titans fan, it left a lot to be desired. But regardless of that, we'll break down everything that happened this Sunday with the game against the Bears, what we liked, what we hated. But of course, I can't do it without the help of my good friend and co-host, Tyler Staggs. Tyler, happy Monday to you. Of course, I wish it was a victory Monday, but unfortunately, the situation didn't play out the way we wanted it to.
It did not. We're not able to wear our Victory Monday shirts, which really makes me sad, but is what it is. Week 1 didn't go our way. Got week 2, right?
I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but unfortunately, we got a lot to unpack, especially with the situation at hand. Of course, we're talking about the Week 1 matchup against the Chicago Bears. Of course, felt like everything was going the Titans' way. Everything that could have gone right in the first half went right. And then, of course, history seemed to repeat itself. But we've got a lot to talk about, and we don't want to get too much into depth about that. So let's talk about one thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. So let's start with a kickoff and discuss Brian Callahan's performance, shall we?
Let's do it.
Jumping into it early because it's Monday and Week 1 of the NFL is under wraps. So let's hit it. I'm your host, Michael Bishop of the Power Hour, joined by Tyler Staggs. And let's get the kickoff rolling now.
And here's the kick.
It's always an interesting situation when a new head coach begins his first official game as the head coach. With Brian Callahan, this was really a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tyler, let's start out with the obvious part. We knew everything was going the way it needed to in the first half. Let's start there. It seems like the playbook's open. They're making some methodical moves. It seems like there was just some really good approach. There's a really good, strong game plan approach. So what did you like in the first half that Callie showed?
In the first half, I liked how, which I know it took a couple of drives to get to this point, but the touchdown drive that the Titans finally put together on the third drive, I felt like we really started seeing Callie hit his rhythm there as far as play calling goes. You know, there was some good balance there, some good mixing things up, setting themselves up in second and short so that they could, weren't behind the sticks. So seeing him hit his rhythm there in the first half some, in calling the plays and switching things up, that I like that.
I'll agree with that. I mean, it was a rough start in the first couple of drives. You could kind of get a sense he was really just starting to feel the game out, but it really started flowing a little more naturally. I mean, especially the third drive. I mean, looking at how he pertained to get this thing going was the key approach to how they were going to play the Bears all day. So, of course, especially looking at what he criticized himself, especially after the game became underhand. But I'll say this much. Let's get to this point. Did you feel that the running back position was utilized properly after his takeaway from the press conference earlier this afternoon?
It's tough to say because I know, I know, especially in the first half, which it was more dominated by Tony Pollard in the backfield, but he was also starting to string some things together. However, I do feel like they missed out on some opportunities to get Spears going. I feel like they really didn't give him a chance to get going, missed out on some things there. So I I'm gonna say overall, no, the running back position wasn't completely utilized correctly.
So let's get to our comments real quick. I know it's hard to get a lot of excitement, especially with everything that went down. So let's jump in, read the room a little bit. I want to get sure that we get to everybody's comments going forward. So tighten up, Michael. Good seeing you on the show. Tighten up, Ty as well. John comes in as a Bears fan. I was impressed with your team, no question. Thank you very much, John. And I'll be honest, on special teams and defense, you guys really came out and balled. I'll give Matt Eberflus credit. The man's very defensive minded, but when he gets a game plan together for his defense, it really shows. I mean, let's talk about the Bears for this instant, Tyler. I mean, it was really a growing pain kind of game for Caleb Farley at this situation. The defense seemed to really be just aggressive on his heels. So what impressed you most about the Bears offense with the first outing, really the first half altogether?
So what impressed me with the Bears offense? I mean, they really. I'm trying to think as far as the Bears offense because the Titans defense really held them under wraps for the most part, and you see they had some opportunities that were a couple of missed opportunities. So I think there are some things there that, Caleb Williams and the Bears offense can build off of. But this is definitely a game that, they're going to watch back and be like, man, we got to figure some things out.
And I mean, let's go from this point. It's understandable the fact that the Bears were going to continue to try and make adjustments after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't know to the exact extent if the Titans were going to be able to just keep in the rhythm, keep how the momentum was going. And you can definitely talk about a lot of situations of how this played out. So good points there. And I definitely want to get back to the comments real quick. Jesse says, Will Levis stunk it up. I wish we kept Willis and got rid of Mason Rudolph, which now that becomes an even more intriguing prospect. We might even see Willis start on week 3 against the Packers, but still, we've got a feisty Jets team to play at home before we get to that. Mm-hmm. So don't want to jump to any conclusions or any further than we have to, but good seeing you, Mar. If Levis goes 0-4 and gets beat by Malik, bench that sorry Mayo boy for Rudolph, which, as I said, it's a lot to take in consideration. I mean, there's still a lot of get ball to play, a lot of situational hypotheticals, so to say, that we can go to. I don't necessarily think. Well, I'll sit on this opinion. I don't want to give too much away. Believe me, I really just want to get to everybody's opinions right now. Let's get to everybody's comments. You guys have been patient. I want to make sure we read your comments. I know the frustration. I want to make sure that we get to your comments. So, getting back to that, then apologies. So much to say. I'm thinking Levis cannot process the offense yet. And I mean, what do you think, Tyler? I mean, let's go with that point and go. Let's make a quick example right there. As hard and frustrating as it was to watch Levis in the second half, I mean, I will say this. There was some rhythm that was slowly building up, especially with the first half coming to conclusion. You felt, okay, maybe Will's got something going. Maybe he's feeling himself. Maybe the rhythm's starting to just get to where they can go and be a little more positive. What stood out to you in the first half with Will Levis?
Um, I mean, like you said, first half he started getting a little bit of rhythm going, and yeah, I feel like the biggest thing was in the first half he wasn't trying to just play hero ball and force things. Like he was trying to work through things. You know, there were some missed opportunities, but again, it's not like he was just trying to force something or play that hero ball that can get you in trouble at the quarterback position.
Fair points to make. But I mean, before we even dive into the second half, believe me, not trying to just shoot the whole wad here. There's plenty to talk about. As I said, this is kind of just the gauging part. I feel that we owe it to everybody today, especially at the first segment of the show, to get and read the comments and feel how everybody's feeling with the situation. So, I mean, let's just be honest, everyone. And I want to get your take on the chat as well, and we'll get to those comments in a minute. But give us your overall grade of the game yesterday. You can give an assessment, give us a grade, just let us know. This is your vent session. We're here to just get through this. So before we dive into any deeper conversation about it. So I just want to make it about you guys right now.
We know y'all got a lot to say in the chat, so let's get it all out.
You know, we don't want to leave any stones unturned at this situation. Good seeing you, Lou. He's not so excited right now, which I can understand that. He will still will tune in, but probably won't chat much anymore with this awful situation. Sorry, but it hurts being a loser. I don't think it's so much being a loser, Lou. I think it's just a situation of a lot of things, and we'll touch on that a little later. As I said, we got a lot to talk about. I don't want to really just blow through it right now. So I feel you. Understandable. Jesse, it's hard to be excited. Understandable. Mar says being a Titans fan is hard. And the last couple of years, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see positivity, you want to see something exciting, but that's just the process. And you're really just trying to stay patient throughout everything. So as I said, I'll touch on that a little later. This is about you guys right now. Titan says, why the gadget play with Burks? We have so much faster receivers to gadget if that's the case. Mm-hmm. And Tyler, I mean, that's a good point. I just don't see the appeal right now in Treylon Burks continuing these runs. He's just not that guy. It worked in college, but it's not working at the NFL level. Give us your take.
I'm right there with you. Like, I get it. Treylon Burks is a big body guy that, you hope can break some tackles and make something of it. But, it's not like he's Deebo Samuel. Like, throw the Deebo reference out there because we see him get the ball and run the ball, like them hand the ball off to him run the ball, and the 49ers play tonight. So feel like that reference is, can apply here. That Burks is not that. Right now, with Treylon Burks, we just need him to be out there and see what he can do as a receiver. We don't need these gadget plays for him. I know it worked one time. He was able to gain some positive yards. But just because it works one time doesn't mean it's always going to work. I mean, he had to make a guy miss on the one that did work. It's not always going to happen. Let me put it this way. This is another reference I can make. Over the last couple of years when we still had Derrick Henry, I absolutely hated the toss play to Derrick Henry because it never seemed to work. Every now and then you would get one that would be okay. But 9 times out of 10 it didn't work. That's the Traylon Burks end around. Every now and then you may get it where it works one time. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not a fan of it.
And I mean, it's said in the comments, there are faster wide receivers than Traylon Burks at this point. Burks, I know he's got more experience just in a typical play, but it's just not suiting him. So I hope that's something that they'll continue to try and play around with, especially with the regular season already into progress. I'm sure that other players have given it a shot, and I wouldn't have a problem with them going through that kind of situation and just feel it out and see who fits that play better. Mm-hmm. Clearly, it's not Traylon Burks. Says we changed everything but the QB, and he went back to Kentucky Levis. And I mean, in the second half, yeah, there's just a lot of bad decisions. You know, things that we had seen him do that we know that he's capable of doing better. The thing is, as I said, it's just trying to get things rolling in the right direction. Don't want to put too much into that because, like I said, it's about you guys. I'm here for you guys. Tyler's here for you guys. We'll get to our opinions later. We're just trying to gauge the room and get you all just telling us how you felt, how your game experience was. Believe me, we'll get to everything else momentarily. Good seeing you, Al. He did put both running backs on the field together. Sorry. I like the options with that, but it confuses the defense too. And I'd like to see more of that, you know. 2 running backs set, I'm fine with. I'm with you, Al. I really felt like they kind of got away from that, especially, you know, when they were trying to force some plays that I just didn't think were working at that moment. Titan says it was Will's 10th start, new offense, but Will made some horrible mistakes. And I agree, Titan. I definitely agree. Or says sometimes you can't coach that out of him. It's in his DNA. He's Carson Wentz 2.0. I mean, Carson Wentz could move, though. That's the difference. Carson Wentz was more of a mobile quarterback than most people would even be willing to just give him credit for. I mean, I can't really gauge or put a label on Will Levis just yet because I don't have enough to make that kind of analysis, even just to be fair. I mean, if that's how you feel at that point, Amar, then that's understandable. But in my perspective, I'm still kind of just on the fence and in wait and see mode. JS75, good seeing you. I figured why we was running the ball in the first half because Levis was missing wide open throws. And I mean, he did miss a few easy hookups on some of the plays. And that's pretty frustrating, especially the fact it felt like, you know, you're trying to get in and just get momentum going on your side, feel comfortable, get everything rolling in the right direction. And really for both teams, it was just a feeling out process. You know, luckily, both defenses were making a difference, and it was just the Titans that actually just started utilizing the running back a little bit more. Tony Pollard got involved, and there you go. Or says Caleb Williams wasn't better, but he didn't make the critical mistakes to lose the damn game. Understandable. Good seeing you on. Y'all better be scared. This was a quiz. Will Levis to see where he is at, if he can be the quarterback or not. And I mean, the thing is, Swan, I don't want to get too much into that. You make a fair and valid point. You know, that is what it is at this point. There's your take. This was like a ritual. This is what it felt like. And it does. I understand that. It gets tiring. You know, it's the same song and dance. We've seen it the last couple of years. We've seen it with different quarterbacks. You're just hoping that one of these guys can just take that leap and move forward. DBS says he panics, he plays panic ball, and the second half he did. I agree with that. There were many passes that I think that he just didn't connect well with, but I'll also plug this. There was also a lot of plays that his wideouts and his tight ends weren't making separation. So it's right there on the film too. I blame Levis for some of it, but at the same time, separation's important as well. And there was just give the Bears defense a lot of credit. They made the proper adjustments. Matt Eberflus knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He burped the ball away too much in that game. Yes. Or says, I'm going to say it. I didn't want Levis in the draft. I wanted Richardson or Stroud. I feel like we got the worst one out of the bunch. And Amar, I'll let you in on a secret too. Most of us here at the network were really high on Levis. But the thing was, we knew the situation going in. He's the guy. That is what it is. I want him to be the guy. I don't care if I get proved wrong in this instant. If I am, then I'm wrong. I'd rather be proven wrong and he be the guy. But I'll let you all in on a little secret. And it's just as a comforting situation. And I don't know if it means much now, but it's the best advice I can give you at this point. There's going to be 16 more of these things. And there's plenty of time to figure it out. We don't have to figure it out now. We know in this instance and in this test or this quiz, it was said by Juan, I believe, he didn't perform well. But that's why you take these quizzes, to get better. And hopefully progression comes. Lou Man hits it with an F. Titan says this may be a slow burn. Manning started bad. Goff started horrible. We are not being patient enough. And I'll get to that take, Titan, I promise. I just want to make sure I'm giving you guys time to vent and give your opinion. Rookie 18, he's playing with too much emotion and it's affecting his decision making. Titan, up to you, Titan. And I think maybe we've got back up to the top of the list somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bad. It happens. There's a lot of comments, so I'm trying to make sure I get through every one of them. This is your vent time. I'm just making that. There we go. We're back on track. My bad, y'all. The Heat Inferno, good seeing you. Remember when we lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs? Quit losing like that. Stop it. And I agree. I mean, Heat, it just seems like, we've just trying to been finding a way just to scratch that off. And I mean, there's different games and different situations that I think people feel and just accustom themselves to that give them that comfortability, just why the Titans haven't been able to just crack 20. Cracking 20 points is like just damn near impossible for this team. I don't know why. I don't think it's going to last, but it's pretty frustrating, especially for the fast start that they hit and had an opportunity going to halftime to add on more to the board. Good seeing you, Alex. I'm just sick of the same BS. I see no difference between Vrabel and Callahan. And I mean, that's debatable at this point. But I mean, that's your take. That's fine. Al says we look slow on kick and punt return in the game. And believe me, Al, we got a lot to talk about with a kick and punt return. So we're not going to just leave that laying down there. Where was the Boyd bomb? Unfortunately, didn't get many bombs. It was kind of just really a safe situation. Cloudy and T, he's a worse Carson Wentz. I'm not ready to commit to that yet, Cloud. I'm just that's a pretty hard sell right there. But you feel what you feel. That's all good. Joe Cunningham, Chiefs fan here, checking in with my guy Sneed. What's your thoughts? That was his warm-up game. The defense looked good. Pollard seems like a nice fit. Give it a little more time, Titans fans. Thank you for joining us, Joe. And I mean, good job for you guys against the Baltimore Ravens. You got a pretty strong team. Let you in on a secret. You guys are my Super Bowl favorites. So, I mean, we'll definitely have a lot to talk about, Tyler. But I mean, overall, I do think it was a feeling out process for Sneed. but all in all, the defense as a whole, there's a lot to take. There's some pretty good. There's pretty good play.
There was.
Howling Wolf says the O-line was horrible. At times they were, Wolf, but I'm not going to say they were last year horrible, but I just felt like that there was still some things they're working out. But like I said, we'll get to that in a moment. Titan, if there's a silver lining, the D played great and the O-line was improved. Luman says, great comment, Mike. Where we go from here, Jets coming in with a possibility of 0-2. And we'll get to that, Lou. Heat comes back and says, should have kept Malik just to make Levis afraid of losing his job. He was playing better when he was still interviewing. And, I mean, that's still yet to be seen, Heat. I mean, I'm more than 100% certain you're going to see Malik Willis start next week for the Packers. They're not going to try and throw Jordan Love out there on a short-term game. So we'll really see how it plays out from there. In 6'4" guy, I didn't watch the game. I don't watch NFL anymore, but did see highlights. Titans QB garbage. He was a first-round pick anyway. He only had one okay season with Kentucky. Don't nobody believe he's good. Lou also says, I retracted the F. I was mad. Understandable. In 6'4" guy, I told everybody Browns are not a playoff team. I mean, it's one game.
It's only week 1.
I mean, I'll agree with you and I can both agree with this point in 6'4". I do think right now, I don't think the Browns are going to do much with Deshaun Watson, but I still feel confident enough that their defense is good enough and their running game's good enough if they can piece it together. It is what it is. We kind of beat ourselves, as Lou Pinball says, Will Levis equals Zach Mettenberger. Oof. I mean, at least Levis can get it in the end zone. I mean, Zach Mettenberger could never do it like on a red zone offense. Believe me, I remember those games. They were cringy. I'm ready for Predator seasons. Titans' best option. It's best to be trash. Get more young players and try Arch Manning in a few years. I don't think you have to wait that long. But, I mean, that's another conversation for another day, I guess. I think Levis was a second-round pick. I think the O-line played good QB. Just try rush things from much form highlights. Carrie's in the show. Tighten up that like button, y'all. So good seeing you, Carrie. Of course, she's keeping down the fort, so Tyler's able to get the show going for us. Rookie 1-8, Will Levis is going to be fine. It's only week 1. Let them get some chemistry. We have the game film to correct mistakes now. Deaconey 6-7, it's one game, relax. If this was week 5, then I would be concerned. And Titan says, I agree, it's week 1, but the way we lost is a concern. If Levis learns something, then we can go forward. Jacksonville versus Browns, week 2. We play the Jets, big weekend. Jacksonville must win against the Browns, and I say must win against the Jets. Well, Tyler, I mean, we're all getting in the same comments here. So before we get into our next segment, or before we head to break, really, what's one thing you can assure the fans right now in the chat? What's some confident words we can kind of sell before we jump into the meat of the subject of week 1?
Some confident words we can sell. I think I saw it in the chat in one of the comments that you brought up. Look, it's week 1. I know the way that we lost this game, I keep using the word disgusting because that's what it was. But now you have film to correct things off of. And I feel like everything we saw in this game, they were mistakes that can be corrected going forward. This was a learning experience for Callie. It was his first regular season game. First half, things look good. Second half, he knows now more of what he has to do adjustment-wise when the opposing team adjusts to what they're doing. So, again, it's week 1. Aaron Rodgers plays tonight. One of his biggest things, relax. RELAX. We still got time.
Agreed. Get into one more comment before we take our break. Howling Wolf, our O-line was ranked 28th with that performance or lack of there yesterday. And I mean, that's a starting point. That's a starting point, Wolf. You know, we're 28th right now. 16 games left to play. They got a chance to climb up the board. Don't have to worry about the defense, though. They're sitting right on top. So here's hoping that continues to trend upwards. But, you know, we just got to do what we got to do. Tim Haxton, apathy rising. Call it apathy. Call it just genuine, just optimism. I mean, it is what it is, Tim. Tim Gilroy says y'all got bared down. Well, I mean, your defense and your special teams bared down. Offense, you guys got a lot of work to do, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking anything away from the game from you guys. You won it. Not going to take anything away from that. But as I said, Caleb Williams has got a lot of work to do. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to break down the game. We'll break down the good, the bad, and the surprising. So quick 60-second break. We'll be right back after these words.
Roundtable Sports Network brings you NFL divisional debate coverage on a weekly basis from your favorite content creators across YouTube. Featuring the AFC East Roundtable live Monday and Wednesday evenings. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST. The NFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST. The NFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The NFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The AFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The NFC East Roundtable live Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans.
You're watching the Power Hour with your hosts, Michael Bishop and Tyler Staggs.
The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and as always, thank you for joining us on this fine Monday evening. Not a victory Monday, but still, football's back, and that's reason to be excited enough, regardless of the situation. 16 more of these things to play, guys. It'll be okay. We just got to work through the bad and what didn't work out regardless. I'm not going to stop loving football because we lost a game. I'm not going to stop caring. That's not how I roll. I've been doing this show for quite a while. Been through some losses, been through some wins. You just got to find some common ground and just work it out by talking. And that's why we're here today, to talk it out, get to the heart of the matter. And of course, we appreciate you for joining us on the show to talk everything out. You've been phenomenal in the comments. That's why we're here, for you, because the Titan Upload Network serves all fans, whether you be Titans fan, whether you're a Bears fan or a Chiefs fan. Regardless, we love talking ball. That's just how we roll here. So guys, don't forget, if you love the show, help it grow. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, X, and YouTube at the Titan Upload Network for all the great content you can get. And of course, share the show out too, because sharing's caring. That's how we build the algorithm. That's how we get more fans like you involved and keep coming back. It's not just the watch parties. It's just analysis and getting to talk to you and getting the takes and getting that one-on-one time that we love to do. It's all good. You got to enjoy it. And that's why we're here on Monday. Regardless of a win or loss, we talking football, baby. What's more exciting? So that's out of the way. But get to a few more comments before we jump in our next segment, of course. So Rookie 18 says Peyton threw 28 interceptions his rookie year It's only Will's 10th or 11th game, isn't it? And I believe this was his 10th game, Tyler. So it's another good point to make. 9K Jalen says, that's how I know the Bears are going to be good. The offense couldn't do crap and still won. And look, I'm not taking anything away from the Bears. The Bears came and they balled out when they needed to ball out. Give props to the special teams. Give props to the defense. It was like watching an old school 2000 Bears team. You literally had me just like the Bears are who we thought we were moment. They're who we thought they were. You got us. It is what it is. I hope as I always say to everybody in these situations, great job, good game, stay healthy. I would love to see what Caleb Williams can do, in a situation where he continues to get evaluated, and progress his game. I'm not anti anybody. If anything, I'm a student of the game. I love talking about any kind of football material regardless. I'm a Titans fan at heart, of course, but the thing is, I love the game. I respect the Bears. I respect the culture of the Bears. I respect the history of the Bears. I'm all about George Halas. I'm all about Walter Payton. I'm all about that 46 defense. It's all good. Good teams find ways to win. Quotable quote. Lou says good, Hooker, bad, block punt for a score, ugly playing for a tie. My opinion, only Lou, man. Y'all think Callie got outcoached? Y'all's thought on the scheme? And Tyler, I think from a scheme perspective, Callie got outcoached in the second half.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Second half, he even said it. The Bears changed up their defensive look in the second half. Started bringing more pressure on first and second down, and Coach Callys wasn't able to adjust to it well enough. So, yeah, he got outcoached in the second half.
That's part of growing as a coach. You got to learn these things. You've got to learn how to utilize your timeouts. You've got to utilize your playbook. You got to utilize when the breaks are going against you. That's just part of the job. And you only get that from experience. Sweat looked good. I got a lot to talk about Sweat, so I promise you we'll get to that. I'm having a good time just reading your comments and just talking with you guys right now. I'm proud of our D. Levis needs to trust his first read. He is holding the ball. Andrew Meth F. Yeah, we have time, but this offseason was supposed to iron out some of the issues. Holding onto the ball, taking hits, missing TD passes, turnovers, pocket presence. I see no change from last year. And we'll get to that, Andrew, I promise. But you know what? I've been saying that too damn long on this show. Let's just jump into it, Ty. We got a segment to talk about. Let's break through this game like the block of ice that it is. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Hitting segment 2 with Titans Talk now. Bears won, Titans lost. That's all you need to know. But let's go more in depth. So, Tyler, as we always start, you got to start with something positive. Build a compliment sandwich, build with something good, then give critique. So, let's start with the good. What did you like?
The defense. The defense was the best part of this game for the Titans. I've said this to some people at my work and in some videos that I've done. The offense and special teams need to go to the defense and apologize to them, because the defense did their job this game. They held the Bears to 0 offensive touchdowns. They held the Bears offense to less than 150 total yards. Right now the Titans defense is ranked number 1 in the league, but yet the Titans are sitting at 0-1. Again, not because of their defense. And even some of the field goals that the Bears got, can't put that on the defense because the Bears had tremendous starting field position. So what I loved is seeing that defense fly around. We saw the pass rush. There were times that Caleb Williams tried to pull out some of the college tricks that he had. Hey, let me spin on back further here and I can escape this pass rush. Nope. They were right there waiting, took advantage. So, yeah, defense, chef's kiss.
And on that defense was probably my favorite player in the draft this year. And I bought into him. I told people no matter what was going to happen, I was putting all my stock in 2024 in T'Vondre Sweat. Now, I don't want to gush too much. I'm not going to gush too much, but I'm going to gush a little. 77 grade on PFF, was all over the field. His speed was just netherworldly at times. I didn't need him to be just a game wrecker. I needed him just to be a guy to go out there and help project other players to success. And that's what a good nose tackle does. I didn't need him to make just all kinds of noise. He was disruptive. He got guys rattled. He moved people. He was unmovable at times. Was it a perfect game? No, it was far from it. But I'm going to give the man his flowers today because everybody was either in or out. And today, it's fair to say a lot of people are in with T'Vondre Sweat today.
For sure.
So hopefully that'll consistently keep going in the right direction. I hope so. Love what I saw in the first game, but a lot more of these to play. Jake Robertson, good seeing you, buddy. Got to speed up the process pre-snap, snapping the ball with one serving on the clock. Every play welcomes the pass rush. And I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's just going to come with time and experience. Hopefully it gets projected in the right way and in the right direction as well. LOL. Exactly. The Bears have a top 10 D. Levis just couldn't process fast enough in the second half to move the ball. And Jake Roberts' second set. So while we did love the defensive effort, Tyler, there was a lot to hate. So here comes the compliment sandwich. What did we hate?
Special teams, man. Like,
wait, I've seen this film before.
Is Craig Aukerman still in the building somewhere? Like,
were we playing the Colts again? I mean, was it a Groundhog Day situation? Because I'm not gonna lie, I almost just threw up when I saw Ryan Stonehouse got pummeled again.
Yeah, and look, I want to put this out there. I don't want to jump too much into, because I see your hate there. I don't want to jump too much into it. The pick six that Levis threw was just the dagger for the game. But the blocked punt
that shifted.
That shifted everything. The momentum immediately went back to the Bears. I mean, you see reporters that cover the Titans before that happens talking about how all of the air has pretty much left that stadium. Bears fans are not as into it. Like, they're down 17-3 at that point. But once that punt gets blocked and they take it back for a touchdown, that immediately got the crowd back into it, and things shifted. And it's more than just the block punt. You have the Titans giving up the long kickoff return that set the Bears up for a field goal. Another problem I have, because, for most of the game I was having to keep up with it on my phone and just on the ESPN app, and I see it updating and saying Jaquan Jackson is catching the ball 5 yards deep in the end zone on a kickoff and bringing it out. I get you have big play potential, but those new kickoff rules, take advantage of them. Take the touchback. Automatically start at the 30. That sets your team up better. Why are you bringing it out at that point? If it's 1 yard deep, okay, I'm fine with that. But if you're 5 yards deep in the end zone, let it go for a touchback.
I'm not going to lie. When Mark Sanchez started talking about the Titans actually winning this game, I wanted to slap the taste out of his mouth. I almost felt like that was a kiss of death. And I just cringed when he said that because I was like, I do not like just how this is going to play out. I have no prediction or any kind of Notre Dame effect, but believe me, as soon as he said that, my body cringed. I just felt something bad was on the horizon. And I mean, look, I'm gonna take Will Levis second half. And the second half was the deciding factor of this game. The offense was putrid and non-existent. And I'm not going to defend Will Levis for that. You know, you wear that C on your chest for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You were chosen by your teammates because you represent the best of what you are supposed to be. And look, I'm not even going to get to the fact he fell to his knees after that interception and didn't try and chase the guy down. You know what? I had enough of him getting run over in those last two plays. I didn't care at that point. You know, get him breaking his arm somehow, making a tackle, or hurting his knee. You know what? I'll just leave it at that. And I mean, it's debatable, but I'm not going to just lose my dude for the rest of the season over just him like taking a frustration tackle out on some dude. I don't need that.
Michael, you must have saw some of my comments.
I mean, I probably did, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not wasting a dude's season just because you're frustrated. That's like punching something because you're mad at it and then you break your hand. I mean, it's not going to fix anything. You're causing more problems than that. So believe me, I did not need to see him like chase after a dude and then like get, crack back blocked by somebody just going in for a block. That's just fresh meat to a dog.
Right.
I mean, Titan, you bring up a good point. I wouldn't have been upset if he took a sack at that position or even at that point in the game. But there were points in the game also, he was making good decisions in the first half. When there wasn't a play there, he just threw the ball at the receiver's feet. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's acceptable. Throw the ball out of bounds. Don't lose the yardage. I mean, especially if you're going to get a punt coming in and just have a better opportunity of getting the ball a little further. Understandable. So believe me, I hope that's something they continue to work with him. And especially, please slide. I don't want to see you try and truck somebody. I get it. You're 6'4". You got the gun show going on. Just slide, man. Live another day. And if they put a hit on you, that's an extra 15.
True. And to build off your second half Will Levis hate, I think a thing that probably made that even worse today is, Callie talking about how after the third quarter, he pretty much told Levis, like, look, their offense isn't doing anything right now. Just, don't do anything stupid. And then you have the pick six.
Yeah, it was just trying to do too much, and it was trying to force something that wasn't there. I get you have athletic ability. You're special. You're in the NFL for a reason, and people need to understand this. Not every quarterback that gets the NFL and gets a starting job isn't going to be, a Hall of Famer or a Super Bowl winner. But they've got the talent and the know-with-all to be there for a reason. As much as I can criticize a player or put in my opinion on something, that doesn't mean that I know more than they do. They're in the NFL for a reason. So regardless of how I feel of Will Levis's second half, and I don't like it, believe me, I don't. There's nothing positive about it. Shout out to Titans and Truth, by the way. Yes, this movie's old. This book's old. Everything about it's old. But I am going to say this. Growth is one of the most uncomfortable things there is in whatever you do. Whether it's rebuilding a team, whether it's training for something, whether it's learning something new, whether it's losing a lot of weight. Growth is uncomfortable. And hopefully this is a positive step in the right direction, because I do think from failure, you can learn a lot. It's the greatest teacher you can ever have. Doesn't mean the Titans aren't done here. Doesn't mean that everything's unfixable or there's nothing they can do to right the ship. We're only one game in. The best part about having a coaching staff of this caliber and somebody with an offensive mind, and I think it's beneficial even, Callie now knows what he can work on with Will Levis to improve it. That's what I want to see. You see what happened yesterday. Now show me what you can do fixing it going forward. And I'll let you on a fun little fact here. Most of the offenses that played in week 1 were god-awful. They're not going to hit their stride till about week 4, week 5. That's normal now. That's how it is with the collective bargaining agreement. They can't practice like they used to 15 or 20 years ago because there's less contact. So eventually teams that looked really horrible this week are going to look more in their element or look even better than what they thought they were supposed to be 4 or 5 weeks from now. Will the Titans be one of them? I hope so. But I mean, that's just a good starting point to go from. So all the hate aside, got to get to the surprising part of the aspect. So Tyler, what surprised you in this game?
We've pretty much talked about it. The second half collapse. I mean, going into halftime up 17-3 with how our defense was playing. The fact that we ended up falling apart and losing this game, I just didn't see it happening at the time. And after the game, I'm upset at it. I'm pissed off. Shouldn't happen. Again, said this earlier. I was disgusted with it because with how our defense was playing, there's absolutely no way we should have lost the game. And, a missed one-on-one assignment on a punt that led to it being blocked and a touchdown, not taking a sack, and, missing out on the chance to punt it back to the Bears to see if their offense could do anything. Just, again, things to get back in the lab, watch the film, and try and correct, but didn't see the second half collapse coming.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, Tyler. My wife was in there watching the game. Well, I was watching the game. She was watching something else on her phone. And I just sat and I looked at her and I was like, I don't feel right about this. I don't feel right about the situation. It just had a bad vibe to me.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, they weren't prepared. And it is what it is. And at that point, it's like I handle losses a lot better than I did when I was younger. Believe me, I don't think about it like I used to. I can't dwell on it, especially when we have a platform to consistently talk about something that's going to have a day to breathe and you have a better perspective of it. That's really one reason I don't like going on and talking about it right then and there, because my perspective of it will always be different.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about something an hour after it happened is going to be completely different from what you feel about it a day from then, because you have more knowledge. You have more time to reflect on it. And I'll get to this comment from Titan because I think this kind of sells the whole point right here, and it's going to set up my next point. the thing we're used to, things not changing through the season. I trust that has changed with the new regime. I just think we all want the same thing. We want to see this team get back to relevancy. We want them to get to the playoffs. We want to win meaningful games. It's fun to talk about winning. It's interesting to talk about winning, especially on our network.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows we don't want to talk about a 7-game losing streak or a new head coach hire or who's going to be hired or another quarterback situation. Good Lord, I'd rather just stick my head in a washing machine than talk about that. But the thing is, like everything, no matter what you do in life, growth comes into play. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncertain. And it's frustrating. This is just the very result of it. It doesn't mean that this is what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the year. It's a bad game that we're going to have to learn from. And let's just be honest, the Titans haven't had a lot of success winning opening games. Don't know why. I honestly can't give a fair answer on that. It's one of the biggest enigmas, I think, right now on Titans Twitter. Why the hell can we not win a game on opening day like we used to? I can't answer that. All I can answer is, here's what happened. Here's what we didn't do right. Here's what we did right. Here's a room full of professional coaches that understand how to get the best out of that talent. How do we get from here to here? And the only way you're going to get from here to here, and the best way that I can say, is through failure. It gives you a sense of appreciation. It makes you understand how hard it is to have success at that level. Look at the Lions last year. We knew they were going to be good, but we didn't know they were going to be that good. Look how much it more means. Look how much more it's appreciated. That just shows not every team's going to be in the basement. It takes a good regime. It takes a good coaching staff. It takes talented players to make everything work. I think we have that. It's just got to come down to just dedication and how bad they want to work to improve. Sometimes a little luck. And I mean, speaking of luck, you got to give a shout out to the linebackers. One of the weakest spots that I thought could have been this season for this team showed out and actually played well.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be consistent? I hope so. But I kind of feel pretty good talking about it today because the linebacking core wasn't getting run over. So that's a nice thing to actually just take a positive from. Believe me, I really thought that one really shocked me. I was like, wow, these guys are actually balling today. So I feel good. Tom Wishaw says, let us stop being Superman and play with some common sense. Already on the sideline using heating pads. When will he learn he's not a running back? And that's something he's going to have to learn one way or the hard way. And I hope it's not going to be the hard way. I genuinely hope that he has to understand, trust your playmakers. Trust the system. You've got the talent. You have the arm strength. Don't just be the guy that has to do everything. Rely on the people around you. That's how team fundamentals come into play. That's how things progress. That's how you build long-term success. Good seeing you, XD Gamer. Bad week for the AFC South. I mean, if you're a Texans fan, good for you. But, you know. So with all that in mind, we got to pick a player of the game. It's a thin crowd, Tyler, but I mean, there were some good ones to pick through. So you definitely seem to stay on the running park of it.
Yeah, I'm going Tony Pollard. had the first touchdown of the game. At one point, was averaging like 8.1 yards per carry. I mean, he was doing good. Ended up finishing the game with 16 carries for 82 yards, averaged 5.1 a carry. So, he had the run game working mainly in the first half, but he was there.
And I'll go on the defensive side. Yeah. Titan Bro, I really thought about giving Sweat a game ball here, but I was like, I don't want to spoil him now. I love his work. I love that he showed out, but I don't want to spoil him. He gets one shout out, but I got to go with Harold Landry on this. Harold Landry definitely starting to get in his groove. I've always felt Harold's more of those just turn it on later in the season, but it was really nice to see Harold just come out and have a really solid game. And, I feel this is very much his year that he could get right back into the double-digit sack talk. I could even see him getting maybe 12 or 13 if this defense continues to play at a high level.
Especially if teams keep triple teaming Big Jeff like they did.
They definitely had to find an answer for that tandem on the defensive line, and the rotation was really good. So Denard Wilson definitely earned his gold star today, and really hot topic, especially in the NFL. Regardless of the Titans' finish, the defense is very much on notice this week. And, of course, getting to our clip today from our good friend Teron Davenport. Shout out to him for letting us use these. I had a little chat with Will Levis about the situation going forward for the game and how he handled the unfortunate pick six, as it were.
We might have something dialed up, or there's a shot to get explosive, but if the underneath one's there, you got to take it. You got to just trust that as you take those underneath, the ones behind them are going to open up. We have some great concepts in this offense that we feel like we can just keep developing in, and as long as we just keep taking the throws that are there, then everything else will open up. But it's a weird kind of thing to feel out. You can't just be okay with darting at the check down every single time. You gotta have your opportunities and know your moments to push the ball down the field. And again, that's just something that I'm going to continue to get better on as the season goes on.
So all that being said, there's the admission of guilt. There's him saying, I messed up. I need to learn from this. That's the leader thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just going to do it. As much as you'll admit fault and as much as you say that it was a situation they're going to have to continue to get better with and they're going to have to progress as a team, now you have to go out and prove it. So here's the learning point. Here's the learning curve. And it's going to be one of these situations. And I said this, especially from the earlier get-go. I really feel this also not only benefits Will Levis in a learning curve, but it also benefits Callie. He wants to teach him how to play this profession. He wants to teach him how to play this game at a professional level at his position. And when you make mistakes like this, it's easier to fix them because now you know what you're working with. So if I'm in Coach Callys' shoes, I'm excited about this. I don't have to like losing, but I can take something negative that basically put us in a light where we have something to work on. Let's fix X and Y, and then we'll get to Z. We've got somewhere to start now. We have problems. We have things we have to continue to correct. These are some big problems that can be corrected through film evaluation and just practice. 16 more of these things. Let's go. Regardless of whatever happens, it's going to be interesting. Big game, home game, first home game of the year. And we're definitely going to talk about it before we close up shop. So, guys, we'll take a quick 30-second break. And when we come back, we love you. We love you. Showed up and showed out. But we got to get you out of here because it's Monday Night Football. I mean, there's a pretty good game on, and it kind of gives you a good chance to evaluate the Jets for yourselves. So, quick 30-second break. We'll be right back and shut up shop.
watching the Power Hour with your hosts, Michael Bishop and Tyler Staggs.
The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and as always, thank you for joining us on this fine Monday evening. What more can I say? You guys killed it tonight. Opening week, I knew you weren't going to let us down. I knew you were going to come and give us all that we could handle. I'm flabbergasted. And I hate to throw old 18th century words around, but that's all I can really come up with off the top of my head. So you guys killed it tonight. Round of applause, as always, for you. And don't forget, guys, if you love the show, help it grow. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, and X at the Titan Upload Network. And, of course, if you love the show as well, sharing is caring. Make sure you share it out to all your NFL friends and fans, whether you're Titans fans or whether you're Bears fans. I mean, you could be a Canadian Football League fan, but, that's you. We don't talk much about that, but, you're welcome here. I ain't going to judge. It is what it is. But just sharing is caring. Share it out. Well, Tyler, as always, we love that everybody showed up and showed out for us, but we got to get them out of here because it's Monday Night Football. There's more football to watch. I don't want to hold people up here. So we'll get this rolling. You ready to hit it?
Let's do it.
Give me my theme music.
Closing time.
Good night, losers.
And for the Titans home opener, it will be the New York Jets. 1 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. Tyler will break down this game pretty quickly, so let's get to it. Aaron Rodgers on his comeback tour, I guess we can say. So what do you think? How does this game play out in the home opener at the Nashville scene?
I know we're coming off we have a bad taste in our mouth right now.
Very.
But home opener, I feel like especially if the crowd there in Nissan is rocking, the Titans could potentially right the ship. I know Jets have a tough defense, but as we've seen, the Titans defense looking good right now. Gonna have to stop the run with Breece Hall. And hopefully in Denard Wilson's system, we see our cornerbacks not giving the receivers a lot of room, not letting Aaron Rodgers just have those real quick throws. I'm gonna predict the Titans upsetting the Jets. I think it's gonna be. We talked about how this team could potentially beat some playoff teams. I think this is one of them that they can surprise some people on.
Okay, going for the upset, as the Titans are a 4-point underdog in this matchup. I think we're giving Aaron Rodgers a little too much credit right now. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm just saying this is a 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's trying to chase Tom Brady's ghost, I guess. But let's just put it this way. I do think Aaron Rodgers can still play at a high level. I just think people are just kind of thinking this is the Aaron Rodgers of 5 or 6 years ago, and I just don't see it. However, though, I think this becomes a defensive matchup. The Jets' defense is really good. Sauce Gardner, I think, is the best corner in the NFL, hands down.
Agreed.
Right now. And I think it's going to come down to that. So I think this is a learning curve for really both teams in terms of trying to just get themselves more acclimated offensively. Aaron Rodgers, this will be his third game as the New York Jets starting quarterback.
Can you really count the first?
You can count a little bit of it. Technically, I think if you're on the field for kickoff, then it counts as a game. You don't get full credit on it. But in this case, we'll give it to it. So I will forego a prediction on this one because I'm really just trying to stay out of the prediction thing as well because I don't really do good with them anyway. So I will say this. I think it's going to be a very defensive matchup, and I think it's going to be a much improved matchup for the Titans. I think offensively they'll be a little more sharper. I think we'll see the tight ends get utilized, and we'll definitely see a little bit more of Tajay Spears. And that could be the difference in slowing down this Jets defense, is a steady run attack with two backs that are very capable of doing that. Will Levis just has to go out and show he learned from his mistakes and that all can be forgiven if he can just handle business and not try to do everything and slide. Other than that, simple, easy peasy. And of course, to close it out, we'll finish with our favorite game, Bet You Didn't Know. So Tyler and I ask questions about each other. So Tyler, you get the first question of the night.
All right. My question to you tonight is going to be helping out around the house. What is one, I'm going to call it a chore. What is one household chore that you absolutely hate doing? Like when you put them, if you had to put them in order, this is the one that you're like, man, I really don't like doing this one. Like I'll do it to help out, but
that's actually a pretty good one. Man, I will have to say, just where we're at right now, we don't have a dishwasher, so we try and tend to use a lot of just disposable dishes to kind of keep away from that. But I mean, I would have to probably say taking out the trash because, there's five people that definitely puts up a lot of trash, and we have pretty big trash bags, so they fill up. So yeah, I'll go with the trash at that. I think I'll go with that.
All right.
All right. So, Tyler, I will ask you, since you had to come up with a solution to watch the games this year, and honestly, you apparently are now joined the NFL Plus family. Congratulations, by the way, Mazel Tov. So I will use that as my question. Not getting paid to ask this, by the way, but NFL Plus, if you'd like to throw a little paper the network's way, hint, hint. How are you feeling about NFL Plus right now?
I actually also did have it last year for, watching the away games, and overall, I like it. I like being able to go back, rewatch the games, all that. If for some reason I do have to miss them, I will say the thing that got me yesterday: get NFL Plus. Chicago, I feel like it's not that far away. It's not like the Titans were playing out in San Francisco or something. But apparently I was out of network and wasn't able to watch the game but could listen to it. So that did irk me a little bit, but got to listen to Mike Keith calling the game. So I don't get to do that much. So that was if I couldn't watch the game, that's the next best thing right there. Listening to Mike Keith call the game up until, of course, things went south.
Well, that's probably why we lost. You weren't able to watch the damn game. So NFL Plus, get it together, man. Get it together. You got a golden opportunity at making this thing great. This could be like your Netflix version of actually getting football to the people that don't want cable, because let's face it, cable is like the dinosaur that just won't die at this point, but it needs to. So put your money in something that's working. But still, throw me that paper since I gave you a shout out, though.
That's right.
We trying to make a little bit of scratch at the network. No, ain't no shame in that. We got to keep things going and the lights on somehow. But regardless, big reason the lights stay on is because of you guys. So thank you once again for joining us on the Power Hour tonight. You were phenomenal. The comments were phenomenal. You killed it for us, and I'm not surprised because week 1 football, even regardless of a loss, you showed up, you showed out, gave us some comments, and now we got a chance to move forward and find that elusive W, hopefully against the Jets. So before we get out of here, guys, one more round of applause for you. And, of course, don't forget, guys, we have got so much coming up this week, so make sure you check us out on the network. Upload will be getting a show in sometime this week, and, of course, the next watch party for this upcoming Sunday game against the Jets. Rossi's morning show, I'm not sure yet. I'm sure he will have a morning show. I thought he was going to have one this Monday, but unfortunately that just didn't work out. But keep an eye on that. We definitely want to keep the morning show going. So Wake Up Nashville has definitely been fun. We want to keep that going as well. And don't forget as well to subscribe before you get on your way out. Make sure you hit all the notifications to make sure you get updated. New roundtable this Sunday, or this Tuesday, actually. So join Rossi tomorrow on the show. We need your help, guys. We need Titans fans in there. Spread the word. Send it out to the AFC roundtable. We need to get more Titans fans in this show. You guys are here and you're representing, and I love it. Let's get you over on that show on Tuesday because, believe me, I don't want Derek, I don't want UCF, and I don't want Ruben to be feeling comfortable in there anymore. So that's your assignment. Get over there, help Rossi out. Mm-hmm. He definitely needs it. So this Tuesday at 7. And, of course, new BS report out today. Go check it out wherever you get your podcast, Night Titan Upload affiliate. And a special thanks to one of our new sponsors, Recovery Unplugged. Titans Rossi has a great relationship with these guys. He also works for them. So if you're looking to get yourself treated for any kind of issue that you're dealing with, whether it's to get off drugs, alcohol, or you need medical assistance, this is a great program to get involved with. So check out the website listed below at recoveryplug.com or get in touch with titansrossi@gmail.com for more information. This is a phenomenal foundation. We're happy to be partnered with them on the Titan Upload Network. Guys, that'll do it for us. Week 1 is finally in the books. We're moving forward to week 2. Real quick, Tyler, Monday Night Football, 49ers, Jets. Who you got?
Well, CMC's out, but still going to rock with the 49ers.
49ers at home. Jets traveling to the West Coast. East Coast teams don't fare so well out there. Give me the 49ers in this one. Love the matchup. So that'll do it for us tonight on the Power Hour. We will see you next Monday, hopefully with the Victory Monday. So fingers crossed. Have a great week. We will see you next Monday. So for Tyler Staggs, I'm Michael Bishop of the Power Hour. And as always, take care and tighten up.
Tighten up.
You're watching the Titan Upload Network.